Good evening. I'd like to call the meeting to order. Please stand. The Pledge of Allegiance tonight is going to be led by Staff Sergeant Henry. Would you please come up to the podium?
Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Present arms. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Order, arms.
Thank you. Please remain standing for our invocation. Councilor Scott Eklund from Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints is with us tonight.
Our dear Father in heaven, we're grateful for the opportunity to gather here as a town council and members of this wonderful community to give thee thanks for all the blessings that we have in this part of Arizona. And we're grateful for the opportunity we have to come and discuss the things that need to be discussed to make our communities better. We're grateful for the council and the mayor as they dedicate the time and talents needed to work in our behalf to make this place such a great place to live. We ask you to bless them with wisdom and patience and sensitivity to the needs of all the viewpoints that are going to be taken tonight. We ask you to bless these proceedings and watch over us, and we ask for these things humbly in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. We have a roll call, please, Beth.
Mayor Kavanaugh. Councilmember DePorter.
Here.
Vice Mayor Brown. Councilmember Hanson is absent. Councilmember Yates.
Present.
Councilmember Magazine.
Here.
And Councilmember Lachey.
Here.
All right, Councilman Yates is on the phone with us today, and Cecil, don't forget to mute when you're not talking, otherwise we can hear everything that's going on.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay. First is a proclamation for Make a Difference Day. Whereas serious social problems concern our nation, state, and town and threaten our future, and whereas connecting with others and working together through volunteer service can bridge the differences that separate people and help solve serious social problems. And whereas we, the American people and the residents of Fountain Hills, have a tradition of philanthropy and volunteerism. And whereas in 2014, almost 4 million people cared enough about their communities to volunteer on Make a Difference Day, accomplishing thousands of projects in hundreds of cities and towns. And whereas in our community, nonprofit organizations, schools, businesses, houses of worship, families, neighborhoods, and friends serve together to make a difference. And whereas 2015 marks the 7th year for Fountain Hills to demonstrate that it is the small town with a big heart. And whereas the town of Fountain Hills supports a vibrant community to enrich the lives of our residents. Therefore, I, Linda M. Kavanaugh, Mayor of the town of Fountain Hills, Arizona, do hereby proclaim October 24th, 2015 as Make a Difference Day in Fountain Hills, and urge all citizens to participate in volunteer projects as we work together to meet the needs of our neighbors. And I just want to thank Heather Ware and her Make a Difference Day volunteers, those who have already signed up, all the businesses who have donated supplies or services for this day, and of course all the many, I think you have over 300 volunteers already, right? Thank you to everyone. This is going to be one of our best Make a Difference days. Now we have a proclamation for National Red Ribbon Week. Whereas alcohol and drug abuse in this nation have reached epidemic stages, and whereas it is imperative that visible, unified prevention education efforts by community members be launched to eliminate the demand for drugs, and whereas the East Valley Young Marines, the local unit of the United States Young Marines, is a youth education and service program for boys and girls that focuses on promoting the mental, moral, and physical development of its members, including character building, leadership, and encouraging a healthy, drug-free lifestyle. Whereas the Young Marines is the official youth program of the United States Marine Corps and is the focal point for the U.S. Marine Corps youth drug demand reduction efforts and is open to youth ages 8 through high school completion who are in good standing in their school. Whereas the National Red Ribbon Campaign and the East Valley Young Marine Program offers citizens the opportunity to demonstrate their commitment to drug-free lifestyles. No use of illegal drugs, no illegal use of legal drugs. And whereas the National Red Ribbon Campaign will be celebrated in every community in America during Red Ribbon Week, October 23rd to the 31st, 2015. And whereas business, government, parents, law enforcement, media, medical institutions, religious institutions, schools, senior citizens, service organizations, and youth will demonstrate their commitment to healthy, drug-free lifestyles by wearing and displaying red ribbons during this week-long campaign. And whereas the town of Fountain Hills further commits its resources to ensure the success of the Red Ribbon campaign. Whereas October 23rd to the 31st, 2015 has been designated National Red Ribbon Week, which encourages Americans to wear a red ribbon to show their support for a drug-free environment. Now, therefore, I, Linda M. Kavanaugh, Mayor of the Town of Fountain Hills, do hereby proclaim October 23rd to the 31st, 2015 as Red Ribbon Week and encourage its citizens to participate in drug prevention education activities, not only during Red Ribbon Week, but all year long, making a visible statement that we are strongly committed to a drug-free Fountain Hills. Okay, now we have a special proclamation to present to you to take back with you, so if you come up forward, I will bring it down to you. That was nice. That was special. Very nice. All right, we're not done with our proclamations. Got one more. Whereas the citizens of the town of Fountain Hills rely on the town to experience a high quality of life in our community, and whereas cities and towns in Arizona work 24 hours a day, 7 days a week to deliver vital city and town services such as fire, police, and emergency medical response to ensure safe communities. And whereas cities and towns in Arizona also provide services and programs that enhance the quality of life for residents such as parks, utilities, street maintenance, sanitation, and recycling services, libraries, community centers, and recreational programs. And whereas it is important for the town of Fountain Hills to continue to provide the excellent delivery of services and programs that our citizens have come to expect in our community. And whereas it is one of the responsibility of town officials to ensure open and accessible government through frequent communication with citizens using various avenues and means. And whereas through participation and cooperation, citizens, community leaders, local businesses, and municipal staff can work together to ensure that services provided by the town of Fountain Hills can remain exceptional elements of the quality of life of our community. Whereas I, Linda M. Kavanaugh, Mayor of the Town of Fountain Hills, Arizona, do hereby proclaim that the Town of Fountain Hills joins with the League of Arizona Cities and Towns and fellow municipalities across the state of Arizona in declaring October 18th to the 24th, 2015, Arizona Cities and Towns Week. Thank you. Thank you for being patient through all those proclamations. They are important to the people that ask us to do them. All right, then we are going right into recognition of retiring Planning and Zoning Commissioners Lloyd Pugh and Denise Ham. Now, neither of them are here with us today. Where's mine? But I would like to read you a little something about them, since they served with us on the commission. And as everyone knows, the commission is a voluntary group, and they put in a lot of volunteer service, a lot of time for this. So Lloyd Pugh, former Planning and Zoning Chairman of the Commission. Mr. Lloyd Pugh served on the Planning and Zoning Commission from 2007 until September 2015. Mr. Pugh is the chairman for the last 4 years, 2010 to 2014. Mr. Pugh is a very valuable member of the Commission. We appreciate his time and dedication to various issues brought before the Commission that required skillful decision-making. Thank you, Mr. Pugh, for all the contributions you made while serving on this most important commission. Denise Ham, former Planning and Zoning Commissioner. Ms. Denise Ham served on the Planning and Zoning Commission from February 2015 until September 2015. Ms. Ham served with pride for the residents of our community. Thank you, Ms. Ham, for your service to our town. Now we have recognition of the Gold Status Award for the Best Ad Series presented to the Town of Fountain Hills at the International Festival and Events Association Conference held in Tucson, Arizona. Grady?
Thank you, Mayor. Just a brief introduction. The Town of Fountain Hills recently learned that we were the recipient of 2 separate awards from the International Festival and Events Association. And it speaks very highly of the staff that we have. We've only been in the tourism business officially for a little over a year and a half. And so it speaks volumes about the capabilities of the staff and what we've been able to do to date. With that, I'd like to call upon Recreation Supervisor Rachel Goodwin and Tourism Coordinator Grace Rodman Gutierrez. Thank you.
Good evening, Mayor Kavanaugh, members of the council. As our town manager said, Rachel and I, at the end of September, had the opportunity to attend the IFEA conference in Tucson. This was a particularly special opportunity because, being an international conference, they do travel all over the country and all over the world. And so with them hosting their conference in Tucson, Arizona this year, we did have the opportunity to attend because of the close proximity. Very, very special opportunity. In addition to attending the conference, the sessions, and all of the wonderful intellectual stimulation we received at the conference, we are also honored to be the recipients of 2 awards from this association.
So our first award was for the Best Ad Series. The way the awards are structured is it's based on a budget. Our budget is under the $250,000 mark, as you're well aware. So they award a gold, silver, and bronze in each of the categories. It was not known at the time when we went what we had won. We just knew that we had won something. So Grace and I had the privileged to go to the award ceremony, and you wait with bated breath to hear your name called, hopefully. And so, and of course, they start with the bronze and they move to the silver, and we didn't hear our name, and that was okay, but we were still excited. And then we heard our name called, and we're very tickled to be able to go up and accept the gold award, as you see here. So this is the example of what we submitted. It was this ad series, the campaign that we worked on last year for the different elements to give an overview of our tourism efforts over the year. So this is that example. We were really excited. We were really excited, just like Grady said, to recognize all of the efforts that we've been putting out. So, and to really be recognized on an international level. I'd also like to say, I don't know that Grace mentioned this, but Grace was also a scholarship winner to that conference. So they recognized that Grace's ambition and invited her to do that. So that was great too.
Great. Wow. All right.
Shall we move to the next?
Did you want to say something first?
I just
You want to add something?
how absolutely honored I am. Rachel provided me with my first exposure to this association, and it's just been wonderful. The intellectual stimulation we received there, as well as these great honors, as Rachel said, to be recognized for our marketing skills on an international level is, I don't know that I still comprehend this feeling. It's wonderful.
Well, we're proud of both of you.
Mayor,
Okay, Councilman Magazine.
I want to add my congratulations. I want to say it seems like every meeting you're coming forth with grants you've gotten, awards you've gotten. You getting tired of this?
Not at all.
No, they're having fun.
Congratulations.
All right, then we'll go on to the second award. Recognition of the Bronze Status Award for Best Company Image Piece for the tourism program logo presented to the Town of Fountain Hills at the International Festival and Events Association Conference in Tucson, Arizona. Grady, did you want to say anything about this one?
Just ditto. The staff is great, as we just have heard, and I think we're going to share what that logo is, what we won, and I think it just is awesome to be an award winner when we've only had a program for a little over 18 months.
Absolutely. As Rachel mentioned before, the association breaks the awards down by budget category. Again, we are categorized under the under $250,000 budget range. Once again, we waited with bated breath. They love their hook. You won a something. So we just waited patiently and eagerly for what our something was. And this second award was a Bronze Status Award for the tourism logo, categorized as Best Company Image Piece.
Great. Wow. Okay, we'll give you a big hand tonight. Okay, now, Bob would like to take a picture if you come up here.
It's must be carried over again. I sent you guys an email about 4:30 about that. Still problems with I'm sorry.
Okay, we're on call to the public. Any speaker cards?
No speakers, Mayor.
Okay, let's go on to our consent agenda. We have 6 items. Can I get a motion to accept them as listed?
So moved.
And a second? Second. And I need a roll call vote for these.
Councilmember DePorter? Councilmember Magazine?
Aye.
Councilmember Leger? Aye. Councilmember Hansen's absent. Councilmember Yates?
Aye.
Vice Mayor Brown?
Aye.
And Mayor Kavanaugh?
Aye.
Mayor 6-0.
Thank you. Regular agenda items, number 7, consideration of the final replat at 16750, 16800, and 16820 East Pole Norden Parkway, and at 16845 East Avenue, The Fountains. Grady?
Thank you, Mayor. Mayor and Council, this particular item, as you recall, was on the agenda back on October 1st. The applicant is, as I understand, is getting closer to having the replat documents completed, but they were not here in time to be able to be on tonight's meeting agenda. There are several different moving parts on this, as you can imagine, and we are trying to work with the applicant on getting these issues worked out. But I am requesting the council to carry over or to table this until a future date. Thank you.
Okay. All right, and Grady, I just want to thank you for all the extra work you've done on this.
Oh, thank you.
You've
Appreciate
been
it.
doing a tremendous job. Thank you so much. All right, then, number 8, consideration of a joint project between the town, the Four Peaks Rotary Club, the greening of downtown, and the Cultural and Civic Association for the creation of a Harmony musical playground in Fountain Hills. We needed to. Oh, I'm sorry, we forgot to vote on the table. I just figured Grady's word was good enough. All right,
I'll move to table.
and a second? Second. And all in favor?
Aye.
That's why I have all this help.
Mayor
Okay.
Kavanaugh, members of the council. A number of months ago, I was approached by both Four Peaks Rotary Club, represented by Mr. Steve Ryan, and Jerry Butler, who, as you know, is with the Greening Committee, and Jenny Willigrad, to talk about a particular project and see if there was interest on the part of the town and to maybe work on a partnership. We had a number of meetings, and it culminated in the proposal going in front that you will see this evening and going in front of the commission at their most recent meeting. The commission voted overwhelmingly, in fact, it was unanimous, to recommend to the council the positive consideration of this request. And so with that, both Mr. Ryan and Mr. Miles and Jenny Willigrad are all here this evening to answer any questions, and Mr. Ryan is here to make a presentation to you on what is being proposed. With that, I will turn it over to Mr. Ryan.
Okay, thanks, Mark.
Service organizations make a meaningful contribution to their communities by undertaking a variety of projects. Every once in a while, a project comes along that's both meaningful as well as, fun and exciting. The splash pad at Fountain Park is a great example. Tonight, I'll share with you a new fun and exciting project for our community. The site location graphic clearly shows the need for the proposed greening project. Substantial efforts have been made over the years in an attempt to remedy the inability to sustain viable turf cover across the central playground area. This major greening project is specifically intended to reuse the site as a different type of playground concept. The reuse of the playground is proposed to be a blending of visual art and musical expression enveloped by a shade tree perimeter and other future amenities. The end result being a physical area redesigned to expand on the playground concept by introducing all new features that are both accessible and attractive to a broader audience of users. As you saw in the free notes, Harmony Park product catalogs, which were included in your council packets, there are presently 14 instruments to choose from. You may also have noticed that there are both full-size and smaller-sized instruments, which are targeted to the varied age groups of aspiring musicians. This project will include both sizes of instruments. The benefits of a free notes installation include improvements in social participation by allowing everyone to easily play the instruments and play them together. Improvements in human performance gained from the permanent complementary tuning of instruments, which create an immediate successful playing performance. And lastly, improvements in health and wellness by creating an additional outdoor play experience. The Moab, Utah Community Development Director provides one of the many endorsements for the Freenotes Harmony Park outdoor musical instruments. Even he is struck by the many positive comments he gets from Moab visitors who tend to focus on the outdoor instruments in Rotary Park, even though Moab is surrounded by beautiful national parks. And I can see that I was on the wrong slide. Sorry about that. And at this point, I'm going to ask you to sit back, and we're going to watch a slightly greater than 3-minute, I believe we're going to watch a let's see here.
Help is on the way.
Well, while Michael's attending to this, let me mention to you that between Mike, your tech genius, and Jennifer, the other genius around, this fulfills the funny joke. How many tech people does it take to run a simple PowerPoint with an embedded video?
Music is universally loved. That's what inspired Grammy Award-winning musician Richard Cook to create Freenotes, musical instruments anyone can play. Since they never need tuning and there are no wrong notes, musical success is assured. Designed to enliven any outdoor setting, from playgrounds to therapeutic gardens to children's museums and more, Freenotes invite people back again and again. Hi, I'm Donna Codd with Freenotes Harmony Park. I'd like to share with you our outdoor musical instruments concert quality sound from a variety of locations. People have been playing Freenotes in the city of Moab, Utah's Rotary Park for almost 20 years. Today, they have the largest collection of 19 instruments installed in the extreme elements of the desert, being played by thousands of visitors each year. You will also find them at the Community Center in Parker, Colorado, where in addition to providing hands-on public art, they are also used in a community music program. This installation invites people of all ages and abilities to come and play. Installed in every climate, in both public and private spaces, Freenotes can be found all over the world, from Europe to China to Main Street in Sedona, Arizona. Here, they combine sculptural beauty with amazing musical integrity. Greeting guests at the Visitor Center, Freenotes instruments provide a fun and memorable experience at a public performance led by Richard Cook. Build community and connect people with the outdoors. They are real musical instruments with clear, sophisticated tones. Engaging, interactive, universal instruments that everyone enjoys. Looking for a way to attract people to your outdoor space? Just add Freenotes.
After taking a look at nearly hundreds of YouTube videos on Freenotes Harmony Park and attempting to select the one that best represented or best described the instruments and the installations. I thought that was best, and it provided a small grouping of highlights that were important to refresh after seeing it. Freenotes outdoor musical instruments are a combination of visual art and music. They are compatible with every climate extreme. They are designed for children and adults. They can be played well by everyone as they're tuned to play in harmony. And they're located all around the world and frequently the creations of local Rotary and community service groups. Okay. Excuse me for just a moment again.
Tech help?
Oh, gee, thank you.
Thank you.
Yep. You'll note the playground area design is similar to a donut. The 12 musical instruments occupy the donut hole, while the landscaping around, including the 18 trees and other amenities, will occupy the balance of the playground area surrounding the musical instruments. The Harmony Musical Playground is the design creation of Susan Jones, a resident of Fountain Hills, and owner of the Four Peaks Landscape Architecture firm. The cost of the 12 musical instruments is $44,000 plus an installation cost of $7,200. The cost of the initial landscaping effort is $17,000. Each of the two projects will be independent of the other, physically and economically. The Greening of the Downtown program will fund and fundraise separately to meet their cost responsibilities for the landscaping and amenities, while Four Peaks Rotary will be responsible for its own funding and fundraising to cover instrument-related costs. The installation of musical instruments can and will likely occur incrementally as fundraising allows. Where the project collaboration efforts will most be visible is in planning, timing, design, publicity, and advertising. Where will the money come from? Well, unless there is some form of public contribution available to support the projects and the town council is willing and able to assist in directing that support, the projects will be funded by private donations raised through the oversight efforts of the Four Peak Rotary Club and the Greening of Downtown program. What's the cost of maintenance? Well, the maintenance of trees and related amenities are normal fixtures in the park and will add little to the cumulative maintenance efforts already undertaken throughout the park. The musical instruments, however, are new and different, but they require nearly no maintenance other than occasional cleaning. Will the music playground be noisy? Well, noise testing has been conducted for Freenotes Harmony Park and made available to us to address this potential question. What we know from that information is that the average noise from a typical installation is measured to be 90 decibels at the source immediately adjacent and less than 60 decibels at 164 feet. 60 decibels is characterized as normal conversation at 3 feet. The closest residence to the instruments is over 300 feet away, and the planned landscape treatment and design will further dampen any audible noise. And with that, both myself and Jerry Butler will make ourselves available for any questions on the details, et cetera.
I just want to comment that this would be an awesome addition to our park. And I hope you'll be applying for the Republic Services $10,000 grant, which will be coming up next year.
Yeah, okay.
Comments? How about the young kids? What do you think, Councilman DePorter?
I talked to you in the lobby a little bit about it. I mean, I couldn't be more excited about an addition like that to the park, especially coming from two groups that have already contributed so much to our park system between the splash pad and all the amazing greening activities we've had in the downtown area. So it's just, for me, it's super exciting. I mean, I think my first thought was the ongoing maintenance and making sure that the town can appropriately budget for the cleaning and making sure they stay maintained and pristine. But I mean, this is super exciting. I think it'd be a huge addition. My children have leveraged the outdoor musical instruments outside of the Mesa Children's Museum and have taken them to the limits. And they don't make that much noise, which is really cool. It's even as hard as you want to bang on them, but it's just a really neat interactive piece, and they really do look like public art because they're so beautiful as well. So thank you for bringing it to us. I completely support this. Very exciting.
Vice Mayor Brown?
Thank you, Mayor. And once again, what section of the park are we going to be placing this in?
It is the playground. Let me go back to the plan. As you can see, maybe you can't see very.
It's the playground that is right by the parking lot. And by the splash park.
Well, it's in an area that is considered to be the playground area. Is there a better way to describe this?
Right.
Yeah.
Got it.
And there's a bit of an oval sidewalk around it, and the interior has aspirations of being turf covered, but has never made that. So.
Well, that's my backyard, by the way.
Okay.
So I don't know if I'm delighted or not. If they're professional or musicians, it'll be wonderful. Just kidding. I think it'd be a great addition to the park. I truly do.
There are no minor or diminished notes on those any of that equipment.
Awesome.
Anyone else? Councilman Magazine?
Yeah, I too am very excited about this. I think it's really outstanding, and both organizations to be commended. I do have one question. Had you considered the possibility, and I know this adds to the cost, but had you considered the possibility of any benches for like parents, grandparents, and so on to sit while the younger children play the instruments?
Good reason for Jerry Butler to be here.
All right, Jerry Butler's going to tell us about that.
Thank you, Mayor and council members. The Greening Committee, as Steve said, will put in the trees and do the granite landscaping. There will be areas in this zone for future benches. We have not proposed any at this time. I think in the past, the town has had requests from different people. You know, they'd like to donate a bench to the community, and there are no more spaces available in Fountain Park. This might provide some new spaces, and it'll be a beautiful setting.
Thank you.
Right. And I understand that's true. Is that right, Mark? There's no more benches? I know there was a list at one time.
Yes, we have actually filled all the spots at Fountain Park, and we also filled, if you recall, all the spots in the Centennial Circle as well. So we literally have a waiting list.
Wow, okay. No problem with benches then. That's great. Good question. All right, any other questions for Steve? No, if not, I'd like to entertain a motion.
Mayor, I'll make a motion.
Okay.
Move to approve the joint project between the Town of Fountain Hills, the Four Peaks Rotary Club, the Cultural and Civic Association, and the Greening Downtown for Harmony Musical Playground at Fountain Park.
All right, all in favor of the motion? Aye. Any opposed?
Mayor, 6-0.
All right. Thank you.
you very much.
Congratulations, guys, and thank you so much. Okay. Wow. All right, we'll go on to number 9, consideration with possible direction to staff regarding the approval of 2 new sister city signs, the sign locations on Shea Boulevard, and the waiver of required permit fees not to exceed $1,000. Grady?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. Mayor and Council, the item before you is a request from the Fountain Hills Sister Cities Corporation for consideration of 2 new Sister City signs. Several months back, the Sister Cities Corporation approached the town about the possibility of switching the sign that we currently have on Fountain Hills Boulevard and to go with more attractive signage as people come into town on both the eastern and the western end of town. And I'm very pleased to say that both the staff and the sister cities organization
Now joining.
have been able to work cooperatively on, I think, what are really attractive signs. These signs that are before you and are in your packet are very similar to those that are in the median on Shea Boulevard, and they're very attractive. And I have to tell you that former council member and board member Ed Key did an excellent job in working with the vendor in trying to meet the town's requirements and also come up with attractive signs that will be very attractive and will be very, give a very positive impression of people visiting our town. Basically, what we also are requesting as part of this, in addition to approving the sign locations and the signs themselves, we're also asking that the council consider the waiver of the permit fees. It's approximately $980, so we're asking the council to waive the required permit fees not to exceed $1,000. And with that, I'd be happy to answer any questions that you may have. We also have Ed Key here if you have any questions of the organization.
Grady, do we have any PowerPoint on the? We thought we had some pictures of the sign.
It's in the packet, but
Right.
I can probably go up and so
Well, I
the
just
public can
thought
see
maybe
it.
the public would like to see it.
I'd be happy to go up to the podium
Okay.
and do that.
Okay. Thank you. Picture's worth 1,000 words. You got to see the sign. It looks nice. While we're waiting, Councilman Yates, are you still there? I heard.
Yes, ma'am, I'm
You
still
on
here.
the phone? Okay.
I lost it for a minute, but I'm back.
Okay. Yeah, just yell out if you got something you want to say. Okay.
Thank you.
He's the bashful type.
I get all space. I feel so lonely over here.
I appreciate the indulgence as our,
No, it's
our
okay.
crack and ace town clerk pulls us up so that the public.
Let us know if you need the expert in the booth. We'll get Mike out here. You're looking through the packet, it's page 129.
Thank you.
There it is. All right. So that matches the other signs that are already down on Shea, so that we're consistent with our signage. Okay. Does the council have any comments about this sign? Any comments, questions, any speaker cards?
Mayor, I have a comment. I'd like to applaud the group for their work.
Thank you.
I think that the signs are very attractive, and I think the locations that you're suggesting make a whole lot of sense, and I think it's just going to have a really highly visible and aesthetic feel to it, and much of an improvement to what we're currently looking at. So good job to all, and with that, I'd be pleased to make a motion.
Absolutely. Come right up. Ed Key. Thank you for all the work you did on this. I know you did a lot for this. We appreciate it.
Mayor Kavanaugh, members of the council, my name is Ed Key, and I live in Agate Knoll in Fountain Hills. I want to make a brief comment. First of all, this has been on the bucket list of the sister cities for a long time. And our board, under the leadership of Jackie Miles, said we should go ahead with this. And so we started way back in February, met a number of times with the town. I had a real good working relationship with Grady and the members of his staff. I would have to say that without the help of the town and without the waiver of the permit fees, this would have been much more difficult to accomplish. So I want to thank Grady and your staff and the members of the council for that. I also would be remiss without mentioning that an additional major contribution to this project is being made by Echelon Builders. Dennis Brown. His company is going to install the signs, and that's a major job. It would have been very costly for us and probably would have made it difficult to do the job. So thank you very much on behalf of Sister Cities.
All right. Thank you, Vice Mayor Brown. At least you don't have to wade in the water this time, right?
I thought we all might get out with postal diggers.
Oh, okay. Uh-huh.
And excuse me, Mayor, if I just may just add a comment. I realize that there's a motion just about to take place on this item, but I just wanted to also let you know that as part of the understanding between the Fountain Hills Sister Cities organization and the town will be taking over responsibility a moment that these signs are up, and so from that point forward, we'll be responsible for the maintenance and upkeep of those signs.
All right. Vice Mayor Brown.
Thank you. Will the old signs be coming down that are currently on the corner?
Absolutely. So we'll time it so that those will come down when these signs are installed, and if you're willing to help with that, that would be wonderful. Was that were you volunteering for that?
I can do that just by running into them. That's not a big deal.
All right. Wow. That's great. All right. Do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion, Mayor. Move
Thank
to
you.
approve the two new Sister City signs in their location on Shea Boulevard and consider waiving fees for the required permits not to exceed $1,000.
Thank you. And a second?
Second.
All right. Any speaker cards?
No, Mayor.
All in favor of the motion? Any opposed?
Mayor, 6-0.
Congratulations. You got your signs. Nice job. All right. Next is discussion with possible direction to staff regarding a proposed Town of Fountain Hills zoning ordinance amendment addressing lighting standards and regulations. Grady?
Thank you, Mayor. Mayor and Council, the item before you relates to a request by a citizens committee that was formed to have the town consider changing and updating our current ordinances relating to lighting and lighting standards. The Fountain Hills Dark Sky Committee, under the leadership of a number of people, including Nancy Bill and Joe Bill, as well as other esteemed people such as former mayors Jay Schlum and Jerry Miles, were very active on working on this process. And so we have before you a request to direct staff to come back at a later date with a updated ordinance that would include staff recommendations as it relates to this. The staff has had an opportunity to review this and also provide feedback and input back to the committee. But there's some other areas of it that I think need further study before we would bring it back to the council. And my understanding is there might be even some areas that may need to go before planning and zoning before it would come to council. So with that, what I'm requesting tonight is formal direction to give consideration to direct staff to come back at a later time with an ordinance and staff recommendations on this item. We also have, the bills were originally going to be here tonight, but unfortunately they are out of town. But there are other members of the committee, as you can see here, both mayors Jerry Miles and Jay Schlum are here if you have any questions about this.
Questions? I guess I have one question. Is this to actually be the official designation as dark skies, or is this just to look at some changes to the ordinance?
This is a good question. The committee actually approached the town initially about doing two things. One was to address and update our ordinances as it relates to lighting and lighting standards and enforcement. And they also requested consideration to have the town consider becoming a dark skies community, which is a membership in an organization that has its own series of requirements for that. What we're asking the council tonight is strictly to consider directing staff to come back at a later date, just to address the ordinance portion. I believe in the future we will either have a work session or we'll have extensive discussion at a future council meeting regarding the possibility of the town becoming a dark skies community and joining that organization.
Okay. Any other comments? No. I know that we met with Joe and Nancy Bill, and we had some concerns, and it's nice to see in the packet that they've answered all of those concerns we have, because of course we were concerned about the business community and the lights around the fountain and some of the lights in the parking lots, but they were able to assure us that that could all be worked into it and wouldn't jeopardize any safety or inconvenience the business community. So I'm really glad that they came in personally to discuss that with us, and we were able to get those questions answered. So if there are no more comment, you have a comment?
No.
Would you like to make a motion? Go right ahead. That'd be great.
Did you have a question?
I did have a question, Mayor. Just a point of clarity. I know all of us have had an opportunity to meet with Nancy and Joe. Bill have done a tremendous job. Kudos to the committee members that are here. In our packet, there is a very extensive proposal, I think, that walks us as a council through the process. And just a point of clarity, tonight we're simply taking our existing lighting ordinance and updating it with recommendations and compromises made in concert with working with the Nancy, Joe, Bill, and those also involved in the committee. Is that pretty much where we're at?
Yes.
Okay. I just want to clarify that. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Madam Mayor.
Councilman Yates.
Yes, I just wanted to share that I had a fantastic meeting with those folks and remind the council and the residents that this is a strategic direction in the environmental stewardship section of our strategic plan. And it specifically states to explore and implement new technologies and opportunities that minimize noise, air, and light pollution and reduce energy consumption. So I think there is a way that we can mix both the dark sky ordinance in with the vibrant downtown, and there's plenty of examples over through the country that we can use as examples. Thank you.
Great, thank you. And that's what the committee has assured us. That was our concerns, and certainly glad we got the opportunity to talk to them. So, motion? Did you want to make a motion, Councilman Magazine?
Yeah, I would just add my thanks for the effort putting all this together, because I know it was a lot of work by a number of people. And therefore, I would move to direct the town manager to bring back to the town council an amended ordinance with staff recommendations at a future town council meeting.
Okay, and second, please. All right, and we have no speaker cards. Any other discussion? All in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Mayor, 6-0.
All right. Thank you. Discussion with possible direction to staff related to any item included in the League of Arizona Cities and Towns weekly legislative bulletin or related to any action proposed or pending before the state legislature. This item was put on the agenda at my request because we have received some communication, emails, phone calls from some residents who have quite a few group homes on their street, and they were very concerned about this, and they wanted the town to do something about it, to pass some ordinances, to put some restrictions on this. And unfortunately, we had to explain to the residents that this type of a group home falls under the Federal Fair Housing Act, so we don't have any type of control right now. However, at the resolution committee meeting at the League, we did pass this resolution proposing the expansion of state licensure requirements and local enforcement authority for the sober living housing. So what we are asking the state to do is to give us a bill that will grant to the town more control, as limited it will be as far as what the federal government will allow, but some sort of control, perhaps on how many can be put in a certain neighborhood or on a certain block. We'll see what we can draft together with the legislature to give some of these streets some relief. There's the issues of parking, so many cars parked that no one else in the neighborhood can park, lots of noise, people coming and going. It's just, if you have one on your street, it's one thing, but if you end up with 3 on your street, it becomes a problem for the rest of the neighborhood. So we're just hoping that through the legislature we'll be able to get some changes to give us some authority to make some sort of restrictions on these in our town. And this originally was submitted by Prescott because they have a much bigger problem than we have, but it was fully 100% supported by the League. So that's something we're going to work on. Any other comments on that? Councilman Magazine?
Just a question.
Yes.
Have we experienced problems, complaints, or is this to protect us for the future? Do we have any record of particular problems?
Yes, we do have one particular street in town where they have 3. And it seems that, well, it just sort of clusters that way, whichever homes they buy up. And it just happens that they have 3 on that street, which is causing a problem for the neighborhood.
And did I understand you to say that we just have no control whatsoever over that?
Basically, we don't, because it's under the Federal Fair Housing Act, and so we are not allowed to place any restrictions on where they're located, how many there are, how many people in the house, or anything like that.
So anybody can declare a home to be a group home in whatever place they want, and they don't need a special use permit. There's nothing that we...
No, and as far as I know, they don't even have to come to the town. So we don't even know about these till after the fact, that they exist.
In my experience, in other municipalities, that's very unusual. In municipalities that I'm familiar with, they usually require a special use permit, and they have to answer a lot of questions about location, about size, square footage, all of those kinds of things.
Well, we're going to try to get some of those restrictions. Perhaps that was before they were included under the Fair Housing Act,
Maybe.
which there's a lot of restrictions there.
Mayor, if I may make a comment, I know we've addressed this in the past, and there is some sensitivity there. For instance, I think in that particular area, or in some areas in town, there may be homes for women of domestic violence. And keeping that private rather than for public consumption and approval by the town council is usually there by design. So I would hope the legislature is sensitive in terms of the categories of these types of group homes that they work with.
Yeah, this is dealing with sober living homes, alcohol rehabilitation, that kind of thing. It has nothing to do with domestic violence homes.
It's going to be narrow, basically, to those types of treatment facilities?
Yes.
Okay, great, thank you.
Any other questions? Okay, if not. Council discussion, direction to the town manager, anything? We've already directed him once. That's good. Okay, summary of recent activities. For this, I am going to go to Councilman DePorter.
Thank you. I just have a couple quick items. Mayor Kavanaugh, Grady, Town Manager Grady Miller, and I were fortunate enough to attend the Fountain Hills Fire Department graduation a couple weeks ago. It was fantastic to meet the 12 new graduates. As you know, you probably read in the paper, we're fortunate to have all of our firefighters in town actually are trained as firefighters. So our ambulance crews are also cross-trained as firefighters, which provides an additional great level of service to the town. So they're called rescue units now, and that provides a greater service for the town, as well as tremendous career opportunities for those that are involved in that service to be cross-trained. So congratulations to Chief Roberts for bringing in a fantastic class of recruits. Second, Mayor Kavanaugh, Grady Miller, and I went to Groupon's grand opening at ASU SkySong. This was, we were heavily involved at Arizona State University in landing Groupon to open up one of their West Coast offices here in the Valley. So we attended along with dignitaries from the Arizona Commerce Authority and the city of Scottsdale to welcome them. They're currently at 150 staff, and they're looking to go up to 500. So one of those companies that are scaling up quickly. I showed them around, at least my friend around Fountain Hills, and tried to convince them to come this way, but we'll continue to work on them. And finally, I volunteered my time to the League of Cities Resolution Policy Committee for Budget, Finance, and Economic Development. As items come up, we'll get called to be a part of that, and Fountain Hills will have representation on that, and we're really excited, or I'm very excited, to represent the town on those fronts. So thank you very much.
And it's a perfect fit. Councilman DePorter works with economic development with ASU and has so many business connections and has been involved in the committees. So he's just the perfect choice to take on, especially economic development. So I appreciate you volunteering for that, and I know you'll do a great job. All right, anything else? If not, get a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second? All in favor? Bye, Cecil.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. Have a good night.